about the 6 OT game, man. Cause you hopped in at the end. You at the center. You in the middle of the zone. You communicating.
Middle of the zone. Listen, the crazy thing about that game was like probably 2 weeks prior, we played UConn at UConn and lost by 20 or something. We got popped. Definitely more than 15. We got popped. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, like, I don't want to speak no bad, energy into the air, but these guys just, beat our ass 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope we win, but I don't know. They were a tough team to beat. They got Dyson. They got, they had a Jeff Adrien, they had a mob. You feel me? Kemba coming off the bench, they had a mob.
Stanley Robinson, RIP.
Yep, Stanley Robinson, RIP, freak athlete. So going into that game, I'm thinking, damn, this is going to be a dogfight for real, And, the first half goes by. All right, looking up at the score, because at that point, I'm not even thinking that I'm going to get in the game at all. Boeheim and his rotations, it's like 7. If you 8th man, you're not really getting in. I might have been like 8, 9. So I'm just there, like in New York, enjoying the Big East tournament for the first time. I'm looking at the crowd, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing all this extra shit. So the first half go by, I'm like, this is a game. And then the second half is tight, neck and neck. And then you shoot that shot up. And obviously, like in real time, it looked good. You know what I'm saying? If they, in real time, it looked good. I'm thinking, this is crazy. My man, Devo, he on the scores table. He talking crazy to everybody. I'm like, this is wild. Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? They waved that thing off. I'm like, damn, that's tough. But
that's tough as shit.
That's tough. Like, we just did all this celebrating.
Facts, bro.
And then it was over. They waved it
no
off.
Good.
It's no good. All right, first OT go by. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. Like, overtimes happen. That's all right, Second overtime come, I'm like, this is kind of getting wild. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now I'm thinking, these boys, I hope AO stay in the game. Like, don't start fouling now. You know what I'm saying? Third overtime come. I think I end up coming in. I think AO fouled out, and I ended up coming in. Even at that point, whether it was the third or the fourth, I think it was the fourth overtime when I came in there at center. And at that point, even when he fouled out, in my mind, I'm thinking, nah, Boeheim won't put me at the center. He'll probably put in Sean Williams, who's 7 feet, you know what I'm saying? And he'll put him in the middle, grab some rebounds. He damn near the same height as Thabeet. But now he's like, Kris. I'm like, I've been sitting on the bench for 2.5 hours. You feel me? I've been sitting here just watching this game. It's electrifying. You feel me? I'm a fan at this point. He's like, you going in and you playing the center. I'm like, damn, the center. So not only am I going in the game, I'm going into the game playing the zone at a spot like I really don't have much knowledge of. Just I do know the position, but like I don't know much because I usually play the wing. So I go in the game. I think it's a dead ball at the time. Look to my left. Jeff Adrien, strong as shit, 6'9", 235, 240. I'm like, damn. All right. Look to my right. I'm looking at the UConn on someone's chest. I'm like, who the hell is this? That's Thabeet. All I can see is the UConn on his chest. I'm like, this is wild, bro. This is crazy. So I get in the game. I'm in the middle. I ain't score. I think I set some hell of the screens, man. I set some screens, some great screens for Andy, for you, Johnny, whoever it was in the game, man. I was setting some great screens and just trying to conduct, be that anchor on the defensive end. But it was a crazy game. To win that game and to make history, like, that's something that they'll never stop mentioning year in and year out. Every year, on this date, this is what happened. That was an instant classic. Literally, we get back to the hotel, at whatever time it was, and it's already on ESPN Classics. You know what I mean? Like, literally right after the game had been, right after the game was over, it was on ESPN Classics. So that was wild, man. We were able to get that win. We're on the right side of history at that point. You know what I mean? Because although, UConn was a part of it, they always have to end their story with, but we lost in the end. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. After 6 overtimes,
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. So it's always fun for me to talk about it, because at the end I could say, yeah, we ended up winning. So that was huge. But that was one of the best basketball games that I ever watched, that I ever been a part of. Like, it was everything, for real.
So, I mean, believe it or not, I think, that game might have instilled a little bit of confidence in you, just knowing that coach was like, regardless of the situation or whatever it was, he looked to you down there, you a freshman, and he's like, he had that trust in you to put you in. So kind of like
100%.
that moment right there, how did that help you throughout the rest of your career? Because you could see the improvement. Obviously, we talked about at the beginning, Big East 6 Man of the Year. You averaged 13, 14 points. I mean, and then over those years, it just increased. So how did that help that? And then what was what was the key to your improvement over those years?
Well, I'll tell you. So that, like you said, him choosing me to come to the game and play, that trust that he had in me. Now, I don't know if he'll say it, how much he trusted me, but he trusted me enough to say, "Yo, you're the one that I'm going to put in this situation." So that was huge, because up until that point, I had, little stints during my freshman year thinking about transferring, because I'm like, damn, I'm not playing. Like, what's going on? Although I know, Coach Murphy's in my ear saying, Paul's probably going to declare, and that so-and-so will open up, Christoph will be gone, or whatever the case is, and there'll be minutes that open up. I wasn't seeing it that way. I'm seeing it like, damn. Like, I'm starting to question myself up until that point where he put me in the game, and it's like, okay, so he do rock with me, you know what I'm saying, for me to put me in that game, in that position. And going forward, we played in the NCAA tournament for the first time, our first round in Miami, where we play, I think we play Stephen F. Austin, then we play Oklahoma at some point.
No, Arizona State, I mean?
Arizona State, exactly. Arizona State, yup, tough. And, I didn't get too much burn, but that experience, I took that. So after, just in practices, I remember doing drills in practice after that 6 overtime, after that Big East tournament. And like, I was just practicing different personally. Like, I felt like I had a little boost of confidence at that point that was able to help me. And I'll tell you something else that really put the fire under my ass was when we had our end of season meetings, Bayheim meet with everybody at the end of the season. We ended up losing to Oklahoma, and we get back to the Cuse, and at some point we have our end of season meetings. And he was as blunt and as straightforward with me as you could be. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I had gained a freshman 15 probably. You know what I'm saying? I was still able to hoop, but I had gained some weight just sitting on the bench, practicing, eating. We got the little food after practice and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Cafeterias. But he tells me, he's like, he basically said, Kris, son, if you want to play here, you got to lose some weight, son, and you're going to have to be able to run the floor. You know what I mean? And I'm like, damn. And I thought I was able to do that up until that point. Yeah. So basically he called me, he was like, you're too fat. Like, there was nothing I could say, because I know stepping on the scale that I was overweight, like over my playing weight. And that if I wanted to be any good in his system or any system, like, I'd have to change the way I eat, change the way, I take care of my body. So at that point, him telling me that as well, was huge. That summer, between my freshman and my sophomore year, I started this thing where I was drinking a gallon of water a day. So I was just walking around with a gallon of water. And like, my diet at that point was like lean meats and vegetables all summer long. I didn't go home that summer at all, I don't think. I usually would go back home to Montreal any chance I got, but I figured there's nothing for me over there. I needed the same way how I couldn't go back home, quote unquote, a failure when I went to DC, is the same way I wanted to treat Syracuse. Like, I came here for a reason, not just to say I did it. I want to be a focal point someday, or I want to be, in the rotation first and foremost going into my sophomore year. And this is when we have Manley Fieldhouse. I'm in Manley Fieldhouse twice a day, doing the little bike with the fan in the wheels. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing that. I'm getting on the elliptical. And this is all by myself, outside of what Ryan had us doing. Shout out Ryan Kabilis. Outside of what he had us already doing. So I was going there in the morning, going there in the afternoon, walking. I had no way of transport. I used to walk to Manley and walk back.
Yeah. You was gonna walk across the street.
Yeah. Definitely walking right from South Campus, right down there to Manley. And bro, by the time the season started, Boeheim hadn't really seen me, because he's out doing USA or recruiting, whatever the case was. Everybody's back with their families. And what was huge, what a lot of people don't know, is like something that probably sparked something in Boeheim's mind was one day during that summer, towards closer to like when school was about to start, Hakeem Warwick came back to campus, right? So there was Hakeem was back on campus, Dante Green was back on campus, and I think those, maybe like John Wallace, there's always sometimes at some points we're playing like, pick up at the Dome or whatever the case is. But this particular time, we were playing at Archibald, right? So we were playing pick up at Archibald, me, Wes, Scoop, Mookie, right? At this point, I had been putting into work all summer, 2 months long, just doing crazy cardio, getting my body right, drinking, eating right. And at this point, I'm like 208, 209, a little less than 210 pounds. And like my body fat had went down to like 5%, 5 point something percent. So I'm lean and I'm running like crazy because in the back of my mind, I just remember Boeheim saying, I got to lose weight and I got to be able to run, right? So we go up there to Archibald and we playing. Boy, I started taking off, just dunking everything, running the lanes, dunking, dunk after dunk after dunk. You know what I'm saying? And Coach Murph hits me later on that day. He's like, hey, what you do today at Archibald? Like, what's going on? What you do today? I said, we were just hooping. You know what I'm saying? I was dunking everything. I was running the lanes. And he's like, okay, because apparently Hakeem Warwick told Boeheim that you look real good in them runs, right? So that right there kind of put the bug in Boeheim's ear, like, oh, Kris Joseph ready. You feel me? So that gave me confidence as well. So once we started the season, that my sophomore year, and, we had a great team. We had Scoop, Brandon, Trish, Andy, you know what I'm saying, Rick, AO, myself. Like, we had a pretty good team. We started that season off, or just preseason, and I really built off that momentum from my freshman year, getting put in that 6 overtime game, all the way to Hakeem Warwick telling Boeheim and me finding out that he said it, and Boeheim was kind of intrigued. Like, I used all that, Boeheim telling me I was too fat. You know what I'm saying? I'm using all that as not even to say motivation, but just like confident. I'm confident now. I know I done lost the weight. I know I could run the lanes now. So now it's just about showing Boeheim, because he hadn't been here all summer. So, when we get our first official practices, and at this point our Mellow Center is already, is built and it's up, and we have access to it. And he starts watching pickup from, on top or whatever the case is. I'm killing, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to run the lane. I'm catching oops. I'm dunking. I'm able to shoot, put the ball on the floor. I'm feeling like myself again, so to speak. And, that was huge, man. And that was able to put me in a position where, I was able to come off the bench, like the first man off the bench. I think, the first game of the season, the first exhibition game, I come off the bench and, I do well. So I just built off that momentum all year long, man, all year long. So that was huge.